right? Thought, thinking, gives you the energy. I believe it took 200 or 300 people, or 3,000 people, to build a rocket that went to the moon. Right? So, all that requires energy. To shake hands with you, to say how are you, to recognize old friends sitting across there. I'm glad I've lit up all the place. We can see each other. So, I ask myself, I know thought, thinking about the past, thinking about the future, planning for the present, that gives a tremendous energy, right? Right, sir? Thinking, I must build a house. So I go to the architect, I agree with him, and so on and so on. And you require a great deal of energy to be educated, right? From ignorance, as they call it. I'm not saying it is ignorant. From not knowing mathematics, you gradually learn, and energy. College, university, and then you become some kind of something or other. And you have a job. To that, every day of your life you go. Or you retire at an early age and die. So, thought, please understand this, very important if you will. Thought creates this energy to build an aeroplane. Think of what has gone into that. Hundreds of people have worked at it. Step by step by step. Constructed it, and they produce 747 or whatever it is, the most marvelous machine that can never go wrong, or man can make it go wrong, and so on and so on. So thought is an extraordinary instrument of creating energy, right? May I go on? Right. If one doesn't see that as an actual fact, then you're off the mark. Right? If you don't see it as an actual fact, that thought creates tremendous energy. You want to become a rich man, you work like blazes to get a rich man. Right? You want to do some kind of crazy propaganda, and you work very hard. You join groups, sects, gurus, and all the rest of that business. So thought as an extraordinary instrument of engendering thought, right? Thought engendering energy, right? Don't agree. So then we have to inquire into the very, very, very nature of thought, right? Not say, but all the excuses. Don't bother about this. I fell yesterday and I hurt myself, that's all. That's over. You can give your attention to something else. So thought, which has planned this society, which has divided the world into Asia and Europe, the communist, the socialist, the capitalist, and the Democrat, Republican, all that is created by thought. It's simple. The army, the navy, the air force, to kill. Not only for transportation, but also to kill. This is obvious, isn't it? So thought is very important in our life, because without thought we can't do anything. Right? For you to come here from a distance required planning, adjusting, taking a train, aeroplane, taking a bus, etc., etc. All that is part of your thinking. Right? So what is thinking? You work it out, don't listen to me. What is thinking? You can't live without certain kind of thinking, right? Planning it, going back to your house, going back to do your work and so on, your marriage, sex, and everything is contained in the process of thought. So what is thinking? The speaker has talked about it a lot. So don't go back to his books. Don't say, yes, I've heard that before. But here, you forget all the books, all the things you have read. Because we must approach this each time anew. So thinking is based on knowledge, right? If you have no knowledge, how to come here or take a bus or this or that, you wouldn't be here. So, knowledge, memory, thought. Right, David? And we have accumulated tremendous knowledge. How to sell each other, how to exploit each other, how to build bridges, how to create gods and temples. We have done all that. The various ashramas where there are all, all that concentration camps of certain kind. So thought has done all this. Created the army, the navy, the aeroplane. Thought has also, through knowledge, temples and all that business. So, without experience there is no knowledge. Right? Be logical, sirs. Logic is necessary up to a certain point. But if you start without logic, clarity, then you become superstitious, imaginative, coming to conclusions, building temples and all that kind of nonsense. So, without experience, there is no knowledge. The scientists are adding every day something new. Please follow this carefully, if you don't mind. Experience is limited, right? Because you are adding more and more to it, to knowledge. Experience, knowledge, stored in the brain as memory, and then that is the beginning of thought. Right? Am I right or you are right? What do you say? God, don't you feel anything? So, experience is always limited, right? Because you are adding more and more and more. Every day in the scientific world, in your own life, you learn something more. So, experience is limited, therefore knowledge is limited, memory is limited, and therefore thought is limited. Right? Am I sane or insane? And we live by thought.